NSC Fan TV. Drew here with Scott.
Hey!
Again, sitting down after a midweek game against the Portland Timbers, and it was a 1-1 draw.
1-1 draw.
And I have a question.
What's your question?
It was a 1-1 draw, but did it feel like a draw?
So different from the 1-1 losses. I think draws away should feel positive. And Portland is a team that's sort of bumping up against the bottom of the playoff table.
Yep.
Making sure that they don't get three, like preventing them from getting three is itself a good thing.
Especially at home. A team like Portland, I mean, they've got the whole ceremony of sawing the log and stuff. Like, they've got a whole tradition at home.
Yeah, Providence Park is a tough place to play.
Yeah. Gary Smith made that much clearer, too.
I think that's right. That sawing that log.
The log, I mean, that's the...
Saw that log.
That freaking log, dude.
Yeah.
And then I think the keeper gets the log if he keeps a clean sheet.
Oh, that's interesting.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, well...
So, he didn't get
So did Teal Bunbury get a slice of the log? Do opposing players get to go home with slices of the log?
You know, I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
That might be something worth pursuing.
Worth looking
in terms of,
yeah,
we need to look into that to see if Teal Bunbury had to go home with a giant chunk of log in the checked luggage.
I think he deserves a log. He deserves a log.
That's exactly
That's
it.
at least what he deserves.
The TSA agent is like, "Hey, congratulations for scoring on Portland."
There's your log.
There's your
That
log.
is, yeah.
It doesn't fit in the overhead bin.
We're gonna have to check this bag.
That's exactly it.
So, but Moreno got his log.
Yes,
and
he did.
We were worried about Blanco, weren't we?
I was so worried about
Blanco. But Moreno
he did not have the game. He did not have the game that I expected him to have. I think Nizgoda showed himself again to be a dangerous striker and someone who's kind of growing into something. Blanco didn't have the game that I was worried he was going to have. I don't think that he was playing in the spot that I think that he's most useful.
No.
I think that both 10s on both sides were inappropriately placed on the field.
I think that's right. And I think we saw their team racked by injuries.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm just grateful for that insofar as we drew with them.
So both injuries, and also don't forget the fact that both Chara and Asprilla were out for yellow accumulation.
Yeah. So that factored into, I mean, we got to see Moyle play.
We got to see Moyle play, and
he came back
and just blow a shot.
He blew the shot, but I was excited about him being in that spot.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe I'm too sympathetic with Moyle. You know, he's like running out there the whole game, and it's hard not to like that. So maybe I'm biased, but I thought that was, you suck to see him blow it.
Yeah.
But.
So we played with 4-4-2 again.
The 4-4-2 came back. We saw 4-4-2 again. We saw Sapong coming on.
Saw Sapong come on, and I think that part of this is Gary doing his best to preserve folks for a later week game.
Yep.
And so he's got 3 games in quick succession, trying to save legs as he could. Had a pretty intense conversation with Mukhtar on the sideline after Mukhtar came out. I think that Hani probably proceeds as though he's going to play 90, and he might even be budgeting his energy to play 90. And then being pulled at whenever he did. When was he pulled?
He was pulled.
He was pulled at 72.
72. I was gonna say 70.
And so being pulled in the 70s, that's
Gary time.
That's Gary.
That's Gary time.
Yeah.
He pulled at Gary time. I mean, but yeah, I think you're right. I mean, Mukhtar is that kind of player who, right? You see what he did last season, scoring the amount of goals he did.
Yeah.
You saw him come up and, just basically Brayson hat-trick his way through. Score, and it seems like, hey, I'm just a mainstay on this 11. I'm starting and I play 90. And
I think that the other part is that he wasn't tired. He was still contributing. I mean, I could imagine it's look, if you have a couple frustrating moments where you're feeling kind of jelly legs, you get pulled, you're like, okay, fine, good.
But
good.
he was actively contributing. I think one thing I do have to say though, and maybe this will open up a whole new can of worms, but I thought the refereeing was absolutely poor.
Yeah, okay, so let's...
Mukhtar getting a freaking card for diving when there was contact. Look, if there's no contact, card him. He deserves it.
Insult and injury.
Has Mukhtar dove before? I think so. I think we've had clear instances of Mukhtar going down, right? Because these refs don't see shit. And so he says, I almost have to go down. They don't see shit. So he gets touched. He goes down.
It wasn't just a touch. He was collided with.
Yeah, I think he got shoved into.
So I think that there are two. I think there are two counterfactuals that are true about this.
Okay.
Had that collision, had that interaction between a defender and Hani Mukhtar happened at the center circle instead of the
it would have absolutely.
It would have been it would have should have been. I think the ref probably would have called a foul because he wouldn't have been. And but I also think that Hani probably would have stayed up.
Yep.
So I think that's the reason why the referee was like, look, this was a dive. This is also legitimates us thinking that, and so I think that the ref was just like, look, you went down too easy.
Yeah.
I don't think that going down too easy deserves a yellow because he even did that
He did
the dive. I think incorrect. But I think that if that had happened at the center circle, Hani wouldn't have gone down, or it would have been called a foul for them.
And see, the problem is it's harder to call those fouls in the box.
Yeah,
because
right.
those are penalties.
Yeah,
I mean, those are
that's
points at the spot moments.
Yeah.
And it's like, maybe he doesn't think there's enough on it to call that, but I think him getting the card for it is too strong.
So I think
him getting the card for it is where I have an
what
issue.
I want to know is whether or not that's appealed and whether or not the card gets pulled back and whether or not and so there's going to need to be some follow up on this whether or not that card gets appealed. It's the Bunbury.
Oh, the bump. Oh my gosh. He just absolutely dude, what
Buy
was
him a drink first, man. I mean,
what was that? Yeah, he just grabbed him like
I'm fine. You can't kick a ball with a guy on my back.
What was that? What was that? What were these refs doing? And they just weren't seeing shit.
And on top of it, like the part that was the frustrating one was the fact that we do have VAR.
And
it was clear.
But I think was it Jamie saying that there needs to be, and I think he makes this point often. He's right. The problem is they're looking for a clear and obvious error.
Right.
And it has to be absolutely clear.
Had he called a pen, no problem.
Yeah. But the fact that the call on the field wasn't what we
a pen?
wanted it to be means that it's so hard to get that. I mean, I think it was, of course. Right?
Yeah, right. Like I mean, that right there is the middle school slow dance moment. I mean,
yeah, like they're all
over him.
Look, man.
Oh man,
that was. I don't see how that didn't go our way. The Mukhtar situation didn't go our way. Those were huge calls. But
so the last point of disappointment. So lots of problems with the ref, especially with the two pens. Yeah. But there were plenty of points of disappointment where we just could have done better. So we have. So I think that's good. Bunbury got a goal. Stroked it with his right foot.
Yep.
With his right foot.
Yep.
Similar ball comes to him, but except it's in front of his left.
Oh yeah,
he didn't one touch that one.
He did, yeah.
He did not one touch that one, and so that one just felt like a sort of a missed opportunity.
The one touch was,
and especially if you're hot like this. I mean, it seems to me that if you're hot, you just stroke it on. You just are like, look, the best is going to be a one toucher. Ball's falling to my lefty. We're going to stroke it because everyone's in movement. He controlled that ball, and the goalkeeper was like, okay, now I can make myself big.
Yeah.
If he had one touch that the goalkeeper is just scrambling to get back in space. If you're hot, you strike at one.
Yeah.
Am I right?
I think you're right. Absolutely.
Well,
he went 3 for 3, but honestly, yeah, if you're hot, you just go.
If you're hot, you're hot.
Yeah, you go.
And so, but I think maybe he's one of those players where it's like, look, the left foot's for standing on. I don't know. How do you go that far? How do you go this far with it? Yeah.
How do you get this far as a player? You're at this level, you've gone 3 for 3. You're like, yeah, I can shoot on this one. This one is really just for standing. I feel that though because I don't know.
I don't think that's true, but I mean, it feels that way.
It feels, yeah. Like it's not on my right side.
It's not on my right side.
I mean, yeah. I think we saw a fun game though. I think it was mentioned that look, for it being as late as it was when we were watching that here in Nashville.
Who was going to sleep?
I mean,
was anyone sleepy?
I wasn't sleeping for even a moment. I mean, that was electric.
Yeah.
I thought we saw Ivicic, I think is their keeper.
Yeah.
He is a damn lemur.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the reason why it was 1-1, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I think we absolutely should have walked away with 3. If it wasn't for him being
Willis had a great save at the end of the game, too.
He did.
Willis had a good save at the end of the game.
Yeah, right.
So I think that, despite the fact that both keepers got sort of put back goals put on them, just sort of balls that got across their goals, I think that both keepers had good games. So any particular player that you saw come on and think, man, that was great. So like, let's maybe an evaluation of Moore's game.
Shaq Moore, that game.
I don't feel like he got as much ball with.
I was gonna say I don't think I saw as much. Well, the one thing is that with the situation of Moylan Lovett's back on, you have Bunbury not having to like kind of track back for him because you've got someone in those wings, those midfield wing spots to drop back. So I think that I didn't see any problem there with overlap between them, like bad overlap.
Yeah.
I don't think I saw as much of Shaq Moore this game.
Yeah, I don't think I feel he may have had as many touches, but I don't think that we saw quite as much positivity from him. And that's and maybe we just accept the fact that like, look, in some games he's going to be really, really present.
And some he'll sit back.
He was up with the forwards in the first half and had a kind of a shank cross and.
That's right. I do remember that.
But that wasn't. But I guess the other thing, and I wanted to also get back to one other thing about the goal, about the referees, that I think was again a call that didn't go our way. That was their goal. So Moreno struck that ball well, but Willis was being obstructed.
Oh, we forgot to mention that. Willis knew immediately. He was just like, "Look,
it was like the guy's offside, and he's standing in my boots."
No, he's literally right. Yeah, no, there's no way he could have seen that coming. His view is obstructed completely.
Yeah, so did they even look at that?
I
don't even think they looked at it.
I don't think they looked.
Or if they did, it was just really momentarily. And so
it's time to draw the damn box and go look. Look, they didn't even look.
Yeah, that was very frustrating to me.
I think what they said was that, and I don't think I'm not sure this matters in the rule for obstruction, but I think they're saying that Romney
kept him on,
and that technically he was closer, and so because of that,
I was watching in the bar, so I wasn't able to hear a lot of commentary.
Well, that's what I was hearing, but I don't think I even saw that. They didn't show me a good angle for the offside situation, so I don't even know if Romney was offside. I'm not even sure if that matters in this case. I'd have to look back at the rules, honestly, but does that matter for obstruction? If someone's keeping you on?
If you're on, so I think that the issue was that it's maybe not an issue of obstruction, but just affecting the play. That if you're offside and you affect the play,
then
if he's onside and he's just like, look, I'm onside, I get to be here. It's like, look, I'm in a spot near the keeper. That's just how I happen to move. Whereas if you're offside, you definitely affected the play.
Yeah.
So I think that might be maybe instead of obstruction, maybe it was more like affects the play. And if the offside is the mitigating factor. Okay, so we got there maybe.
We got there maybe, but I still didn't see a good angle for Romney being offside. From the angle I saw on my TV, I thought he was on. I mean, I thought he was off.
Yeah.
So, sorry. There we go. Is that a Freudian slip?
Yeah.
I thought he was off. I think in short, how to state it again, Willis had a point. I think he was obstructed.
Yeah.
I mean, but they didn't even look, I don't think. I don't even think they looked.
Man, so again, another source of frustration. And, again, complaining about the refs is maybe just something that we just have to block off time to do.
All right, we're going to complain about the refs.
Let us accept the fact that we'll have to complain about the refs. But in some ways, refs are bad for, like, it's kind of like complaining about the rain. Like, it rains on everybody.
Rains on everyone.
The refs are going to miss calls. They missed a lot for us. I think it just kind of comes out in the wash. I mean, bad refereeing is bad for everybody. And as a consequence, maybe isn't something we should complain about that much. But whenever it feels especially egregious.
It feels like you're robbed.
Yeah.
You feel like you should have had 3 points. Like, hey, I feel like I should have. Should I make an argument of how I feel?
Yeah.
Probably not. Yeah. But...
Let us at the very least acknowledge our feelings.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I can't take away that I feel bad about us. I felt like we got robbed. I feel like Joe Willis was obstructed. I feel like Mukhtar shouldn't have got a yellow.
Yeah.
And I feel like Bunbury got pulled out. I feel like everything should have gone my way.
Yeah. So this is both a video essay and a little bit of therapy. So
a little bit of commentary. We have to get it out. I mean, I wasn't expecting even a point, I'll be honest. And so I thought to walk away from an away game, hard to win against, hard to draw against. With the point, I'm
keeping our playoff position, and so again, not getting caught. Not getting caught. I mean, I think that getting caught. My biggest worries about our playoff situation is that we're ahead of Portland and Seattle. Mm-hmm. And Seattle's, I think, got 2 games in hand.
I was gonna say they're the 2 gunning for that.
And those are the 2 that are going to have great ends of the season.
Yeah.
And the trouble for us is that we've got on decision day, I'm going to say the words. On decision day, we have to play away at LAFC. You know, look, I love my Yotes. I love my Yotes, but man, that is not a position that I want us in on decision day, having to win or tie or get points away at LAFC.
You want it to be comfortable, yeah, that's too much stress.
Yeah,
and
I don't want that. I don't want that for us.
And I'm not sure how the boys in goal do under a stressful situation.
Well.
You know, because maybe we're building up to it, and maybe this will be another test for it. But I mean, playing at Geodis New Park, the situation we saw last season with the playoffs, or after the season.
Yeah.
I mean, stress is tough. And playing under non-ideal conditions is not easy, right?
Yeah. I want us to play at home. So, I mean, here's my worry is that we play at LAFC on decision day. And we may just have to come back around and play at LAFC then. Like even if we make the playoffs, it may have to be LAFC again. Like I don't want that.
I definitely don't want that.
Maybe I'm wrong about that because LAFC are on pace to have a draw or have the week off for the first round. First place gets a week off.
So that's most.
Maybe we don't have to play them. So.
Maybe we won't have to be them, but we'll still play away.
Still have to play away, and likely we'll be at Austin if we again, assuming we're 7th. So again, I don't like any of those setups. I think that the objective here is to make the playoffs, and if we make the playoffs, not be in 7th.
I think that's
because I take us playing away like any of these other right now it's a race for 3rd. The reality is that it's a race to stand
3rd, so that you can get as much time. Not traveling as you can possibly manage,
and not having to play at Austin or at LA.
Absolutely.
So that's that. I think the math on that looks about right. But what do you think about Toronto coming in? What are your thoughts?
Thoughts about Toronto? Benner, right? Isn't it? No, their 6 is Brenner, right?
No.
Is that not?
Maybe Brenner is their 6.
Is Brenner their 6?
I don't know who their 6 is. I know that Lorenzo Insigne is now playing for him.
Oh yeah, Insigne. Yeah. That's
Lorenzo Insigne is playing for him, and we get to see the captain and we get to see Bradley. So we get to see 2 great captains come into Nashville. I'm kind of keen to, I've always admired Bradley. I think that he's tough. He's smart. He's got a cannon for a leg. I just always admired him as a player, and even whenever they came in and played here, I just loved seeing him. He still kind of got that that sheen on him from being the glamour of him being the captain for the U.S. national team. He's still somebody who's got the vision and got the intelligence. I just wonder, when's the alchemy of his intelligence and Lorenzo Insigne's capacities going to link up?
That's scary. Yeah.
If I were a Toronto fan, I would think that these are going to be exciting days.
Yeah, worrisome for us though.
Worrisome for us. I think that we've got a challenge with them.
The quick turnaround is what I'm worried about. I think, and so I think this is maybe where Gary Smith's rotation pays off.
Yeah.
And we were complaining last weekend, but we were complaining about the situation with Mukhtar. Maybe we see starting everybody who ends up playing the whole game, and maybe we don't see tactical subs. Maybe we just see nothing but the starting 11.
Well, so Dax didn't play this Wednesday, so maybe we see a Dax start. Man, I'm hoping that Godoy gets better and is ready to play. Maybe a Dax Godoy renaissance. That would be awesome.
That would be fun.
So I think that our the center 2 is sort of a set of questions.
Yeah, it was Davis and Nunga this last time.
Davis and Nunga.
We'll see what it ends up being. I'm assuming he starts Dax. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think.
But I think that any of those combinations of those 4 is a good combo. I have to admit that I'm a little bit worried about what the expansion draft is going to do to our team, because I'm worried that if St. Louis takes Anunga, then
don't take our CDMs. We need them.
Yeah, I just don't know what happens to our midfield and our central midfield if we lose Brian, because again it's not that they drop off from there. It's just the fact that I don't know how many years these guys have got. Maybe none.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that Davis has got plenty of time left, but like Dax and Godoy, Anibald's not got that many more miles on those tires.
And Dax is ready to start his commentary.
He's ready. He's already getting fitted for a little blazer, you know.
Yeah, so I'm worried too. I mean, we don't want to have a CDM scramble. I mean, because it's great to be able to sit down and take for granted that you've got those two CDMs that just do their best to lock it.
They're gonna play well. They
drop back when players like Zimmerman go forward. I mean, they just kind of know that thing.
Solid defense and not a lot of turnovers from them. And again, I wish that Anunga was a little bit more positive with his passing. Would have liked to seen some more of that from him. But
I think that's right. But
he doesn't turn it over. So
as a player, I look for him to, and when he does turn it over, he digs it back out.
Yeah,
I mean that's the thing about Anunga that I like. I mean. So I don't know. I guess for him, I look for something different than I look for in Dax, where it's the vision, like that, and the soccer IQ.
Yeah,
I mean, and that allows him to create more positive play. I think more direct play too, whenever it's needed.
I'm gonna say one last thing, and I'm gonna venture something, which is I think that our captaincy is at a higher level when Dax is the captain. When Dax wears the armband, I think that we have better communication with the ref, maybe even sort of in cases where we've got questions about how play happened. I think that Dax has got the referee's attention in ways that other folks who wear the band don't.
I think Dax is, he is definitely our team's biggest advocate on the pitch for just all of us against the refs bullshit situation most of the time.
And so I just, this isn't to throw Zimmerman under the bus. I just think that Dax given his status and stature and given the way that he talks to the refs, things might have gone differently.
I think that's right. I think that's right.
I don't like saying that.
And we've seen Godoy wear the armband too, and I think that he also doesn't advocate.
I don't think he's the right advocate.
I don't think he advocates as much for our team. I mean, it's not that they don't do it at all, or it's not that they wouldn't. It's just that what have we seen? We've seen Dax do it consistently.
I hate to, I think that, so Sean Davis had been the captain at Red Bulls. I don't like the idea of giving the new kid the band, but there might be some consideration about that in the future.
Yeah.
Again, I don't like the idea of taking the band off Zimmerman's arm.
Yeah.
I don't want to take the band off Zimmerman's arm. I mean, there's the likelihood that Zimmerman is maybe one of the choices to wear the band for the national team.
Yeah. I mean, but maybe not for NSC, but I mean,
not for us. That's weird.
Well, see, but the thing is, though, and this is something that I've just heard from talking with other people, is that typically when you look for a captain, you don't want somebody going forward. You want someone in the back, right? Who holds it down, who locks it down, and who organizes. And I just think that when it comes down to it, that just feels more like Dax.
Put your band on a 6.
Yeah. Put your band on a 6,
or maybe an 8.
Yeah.
So I see that. I mean, there have been plenty of teams that have put their bands on their 10s. And
it's not impossible. In some the keeper.
But he's just he's running a lot. I mean, I think that part of it is you just don't want your captain gassed all the time, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Okay, well, are we done?
I think I've said my piece.
I think I've said all I needed to say too. Okay, NSC Fan TV. We'll see you after the Toronto game this weekend. And do you have a prediction?
Let's do a prediction. Oh man.
NSC 1-0.
NSC 1-0. I was gonna go NSC 2-1.
Okay.
I think we're gonna see a very intriguing game. I think we're gonna see the 4-4-2 come through against Toronto.
I like the 4-4-2.
Yeah.
I'm liking the 4-4-2.
I am too.
All right. We'll see you this weekend.
All right, let's go.